All right. Good evening, folks. Frank KG6NLW here, and I apologize for the quickness here. There we go. That works. Tonight's NorCal Swap Net live stream is going to be a little tricky. Had some technical issues on the backside, so hopefully I can get this focused back up. But Armand's already started, so let's bring him in and say good evening to him and NorCal Swap.
If we hear from Frank, we also welcome
Somebody let me know if this is working, please.
Frank on YouTube, and he gives a thumbs up or down, or who knows what he's doing. Rubs his face or puts a pencil behind his ear. Anyway, welcome to all those folks out there in Cyberland who may or may be listening to the Northern California Swap. Of course, we can't welcome those who are not listening. We can't do that. Anyway, it's easy to join the net. Here's how that works. When the net portion is open for listing, all you need to do is speak your call sign suffix, use phonetics always, and that makes things a lot easier. Any phonetics that you may want to use, that's always helpful. Wait to be recognized, and when asked to proceed, come back with this information in the following order. First, start out with your full call sign. Again, please use those phonetics. They're a big help. That's why they invented them, because things sound alike, especially when you're speaking. Not like CW, where things, P and T is different. C and E is different. You get the idea. Anyway, phonetics, please. Give us your first name, your location. If you're buying, selling, or trading, let us know what you got, what you want to give away, what you want to trade. Give us a brief description of the items involved. If you are selling something, let us know the price of the item, and let us know if you are willing to ship the item. Also, if you're going to trade, are you willing to ship the traded item? Want somebody to come by your house, pick it up, or are you willing to travel to meet the other party someplace on planet Earth so that you can make the equipment exchange? And if you'd like to include shipping in your price, you can say include shipping or ship to your door or something to that effect. If you don't, that's strictly your prerogative. Let it be understood that it's always the responsibility of the buyer, unless otherwise arranged with the seller. So after you do all that, then give us your contact information. That means your email address and or telephone number. We will take both. It is 21st century. And then end your transmission with your call sign. And during the next, you can say info followed by your call sign. You can ask me a question if you were otherwise distracted or didn't have a pencil or a keyboard in hand or a pen, something to scribble with, and you need somebody's call sign and a model of a piece of equipment that was mentioned, etc., etc. Say info followed by your call sign. I'll find out what you need and give you what you want as I write everything down. And of course, we review the list at the very end of the net, which is never forecastable. So we never know what that's going to be. However, we will be here at least until 0345. That's the 8:45. So at least we'll be here that long. And but all of you out there really covered how long the net will run. Depends how many seconds and what kind of conversation we have going. So if you have any questions about a listing, info followed by your call sign. If you have a question about amateur radio, if you're new to the hobby, old to the hobby, or somewhere in between, ask away. And by saying info followed by your call sign, and we'll see how many different answers we can get some of the experienced folk here on the frequency. Also want to say thank you to Chris and N6ICW for another great week of a repeater operation. He keeps the thing humming away, and that's good for us, and a lot of work for him. And I'm sure we all appreciate all the time and energy he has put into making the system what it is since the mid-1980s. That's a long time, coming up on 40, 45 years. So N6ICW and the control group as well, who always keeps a good eye on things. And if you're out and about and you see something that needs the attention of amateur radio, in the spirit of public service, you can say break or priority, followed by your call sign. We'll stop the net, find out what's going on, and what kind of help we can or someone can render to help in the situation that you have encountered. Also, you can say contact followed by your call sign. That will allow you to do three things. You can call a station, move them off frequency to another simplex or repeater channel to chit chat, pass a quick bit of traffic to someone who you hope think that might be listening here. After you call them, and the traffic does not have to be net or swap net related. And finally, you can ask a question of somebody who just made a listing, needs some clarification or further details on a listing. Just say contact followed by your call sign, and you tell us what you need to do. So that's how it all works. That's old hat for the folks that have been here many times before, and all the years past. So for all the new folks that might or might not be dialing by, now they know, hopefully, how it all works. And so let us open station number 17 of the Northern California Swap for this last Thursday in April. And we have a couple of swaps coming up in a day or two, plus in the month of May as well, which we'll talk about as time goes on. WP2Z Zeddy, Whiskey Bravo 2, Zulu Echo India, Armand, ARMANC, Fellas in Sacramento, the Art and Arcade area. Opening the net. Let's see who's going to be out there to join us tonight.
November Lima Whiskey.
Okay, and Frank and John, good evening to you folks, and Mr. Frank, pick it up, KG6NLW, and tell us who's out there watching, listening tonight. We'll see how many we have. The signal keeps dropping out. Maybe I'll have to change frequencies, but we'll try to get around that. KG6NLW, WB2ZEI.
Well, while I'm chatting away here, if you want to set yourself up for the other alternative there, go ahead and do so. Good evening, one and all. Kilo Golf 6, November Lima Whiskey. We have currently 12 minutes and 48 seconds in. 4 people on YouTube, 2 on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and 1 person over on Twitch. And so far, I know there is 1K5 ABN in the chat, and that's about it. Oh, and Armand, I will say this. You cannot have a live stream without some sort of technical difficulty. Tonight, for me, if it could go wrong, it went wrong. I hit the go live button, and instead of about 5 minutes before, I hit it at 59 past. So this is going to be interesting. WB2ZEI in the net. Kilo Golf 6, November, Lima Whiskey.
Hi, Frank. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was, we finished dinner and did some other chores, came up here and checked my Cole Curtis stuff and lollygagging around, and all of a sudden I say, what time is it? Oh, it's 7:58. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, time does get away from you right when you don't need it to. But we're here anyway, and welcome to the 7 folks that are out there. And remember to the watchers and listeners out there in computer land, if you would like to make a listing, then just post that in the chat, and Frank will relay it to the rest of the net. So you're all free to take part. Don't be sitting on the side unless you want to, but we'd like to have some listings come directly from out there as well. So thank you, Frank, for all you do, and good to hear you. And you sounded real good tonight. Nice loud audio and good signal, as John is doing as well. So we'll turn it over to John and see what he's got to say. KG6NLW, WB2ZEI with the Northern California swap, and over to KJ6JD.
All right, Armand. Now we're rolling. Get that Northern California swap underway. The drum is beating. And I'm beating the drum, too. We got firmed up the ham swap out of the Carmichael Elks for this year. And it's coming up on May 26th. And so it's my job to deputize y'all and tell you to go out and spread the word. All of you young dudes, carry the news and take it to the far reaches of Hamdom that we got a swap happening out there on the 26th of May, and God willing, the creek don't rise. I'll be out there, and we'll also have food out there, and there's a couple other people I got to get in touch with and see if they're going to be out there. But at any rate, all the usuals will show up, and the usuals will bring out their usual boat anchors, and we'll all swap boat anchors for other boat anchors, and we'll all say, well, how the hell you been? And look at each other incredulously, and all the things that are fun, ham swaps. So I can't wait. That's May 26th, Sunday, before Memorial Day, a corner of Cypress and Hackberry. That's the Carmichael Elks Lodge, that famous place out there in Hamdom. Also, exams are still out there, I believe. I got to talk to Kim and find out if they swapping a bunch of ham gear, and so be there or be square on May 26th. Get your good items out, and I might even have a bunch of stuff out there. We'll see. We'll see if I can break the collection loose and get it. All right, I took enough time. I'm probably timed out. KG6JD.
Well, no golden bagels on this repeater, John. You know, N6ICW is a very generous timer. You got to go a long way to time this one out. So, yeah, very good. Yes, and I got to say, on May 11th of 1991, which is Saturday, the same day that it happened, I was introduced to the Carmichael Elks Lodge, and little did I realize that some years later that there would be a ham swap. So that's exactly the place where we had our wedding reception from 33 years ago. Yikes! So that's a long time. But yep, that was my introduction to the Elks Lodge. Good time was had by all, and a good time will be had by all on the 26th of May. And John, I wanted to mention to you, I had seen an email from Eric Guth for I forgot his 4Z4 something something, the fellow that does the QSO today, and if he had a calendar of some such, I think it was like QSOtoday.com / either calendar or ham calendar, and you could submit swap beats that would be coming up. So he could post them on the website. So you might want to get your new fancy Hotshot i7, 13700K processor. Look at it at that website, and maybe you want to add it there. I don't know if Mike W6THW is still doing his, but Eric Guth, you might want to look at his website as well. Just something I wanted to mention while I was thinking about it. Thank you, John, and thank you for all you do every year, putting on that swap. Not a one-man show, but John does make it a one-man show all by himself. And, other clubs have a lot of help, but John, multi-talented John, he does it his way, and that's the way we all enjoy it. So thank you, John.
Oh, I got to step on you. I got a lot of support. There's a lot of people in my life that when I call upon them will jump in, and I think this year we're going to have some help from maybe some of Jeff's people, and of course it'll let us not forget Skip, WV6, what is it, WV6F or something? God, can't believe I forgot it's called Western Vaca 6 something. Anyway, he's going to help out too, he claims, this year, so we'll see about that. But it ain't all a one-man show, nothing. Besides, all them there are people with stuff, they make the show. KJ6JD.
Yeah, that is true. They are the stars of the show. You're just the stage, not just, but you're the stage director, right? All right, very good. Thank you, John. And thank you to all your followers, the JCers, not juvenile delinquents, but juvenile, but they're certainly not delinquents. So they're great, great folks. Thank you, John. KJ6KB, WB230I with the NorCal swap. Who else is out there to join us with a listing, please?
One Quebec.
Kilo November 6th, Mike. Golf Kilo. All right, I hear Mitch and Steve, and there was somebody underneath Mitch. Did you see a Mitch underneath you? Unless you were flying. But who was the third station?
FGI.
WB2ZEI?
Well, Armand, over to Mitch. Hey, buddy, you know, it doesn't get any better than this, and I think I heard you mention earlier, this is just the coolest place on earth on Thursday nights, the NorCal Swap Net, brought to you by Armand, WB2ZEI, and Chris, thank you, N6ICW. This is Mitch, WU1Q. I'm currently mobile in Nevada, California. I'm just going to go ahead and format it like QST or like our ARRL would, if you don't mind there, Armand. QST, QST, QST. For those who do not know, a company that we have all used, whether you new, old, or brand new, or old as dirt, like some of us out here. The MFJ company, if you have not heard, is ceasing to production of any and all ham radio gear and all the umbrella companies underneath it, i.e. Cushcraft, Mirage, High Gain, and so on, and including Maritron. On May 17th of 2024, Mr. Martin June is finally going to retire. Small on that and a skinny. COVID really hurt their bottom line. Things got messed up, and as we all know, he has been in business for a little bit over 50 years today, and it's going to be sad to see him go. But the good news is, everybody, that Martin plans to, and the corporation plans to adhere to all warranty work and off warranty repairs only. The Starts Tennessee or Arkansas, I believe it is, one of the two, is stopping production on May 24th, and so they'll be missed. So if you're a mighty fine junk owner, absolutely hold on to your stuff. If you got a museum, build it now. It's just going to be like Radio Shack. Armand, that's about all I got. I think I'm all coffeed out. And again, thanks for everybody out there listening, shortwave listeners, and alike. And a big shout out to Mr. Frank, KT6NLW, who makes this possible for this to go all around the world. Armand, back to you, my friend. WU1Q, Mobile, Nevada.
All right, Mitch. Wow, that is earth-shaking news. I haven't seen anything on that. But apparently you got your ear to the ground and listening real intently. That's really too bad. That's really too bad. You know, on the other side of the coin, we see MTC Radio importing now expert linear amplifiers. But wow, but all those brands going down, High Gain, Ameritron, MFJ, and all their niche products. The amplifiers, everything, and that's too bad that he couldn't sell out to somebody else. But that's really sad news. So what can you say? Just like my wife said just today, we were reminiscing about how Sacramento and the downtown has changed over the 33 years at least that I've been here. And like she said, things never stay the same. No matter how much you think they should or would or could, they just don't. So, happy retirement to Mr. Martin Chu. And, 50 years is a long, long time. But too bad that he couldn't pass the torch to somebody else. He will certainly be missed. So, like you say, though, it's all that MFJ equipment. So, if you don't have it and you want it, you better get it while the getting's good.
Hey, Armand, one last thing. If everybody wants to know the in-depth of everything, if someone is hankering to grab a hold of these multitude of companies, you're going to have to go find somewhere in China that can retool it unless you do it here. But anyway, there's that. That's the skinny on it. There's a little more to the story if anybody cares. But so long, MFJ. Man, it was good, and it was fun. But like the dodo bird in Radio Shack. Yep, come on. You're absolutely right. Things are gonna change. All right, Toodles, WU1Q.
Okay, yeah, Toodles. Yeah, everything's changing. Just look around us. It ain't like it used to be. Wasn't that Armand? Wasn't there a song like that? They like it used to be, something like that. Anyway, I already mentioned. Thank you for that. That's the kind of like, I don't have my news sounder, my cart machine queued up with the news sounder. Of course, that would probably be illegal since we're not a broadcast station, at least in the amateur radio service. But yep, hate to see MFJ and all the assorted name brands go away. So, oh well. Let's see if I can remember. There was you, there was Gary, and Steve. Yes, let's pick up Steve first, and then we'll look towards to Gary back up here in North Sacramento. KN6MCK. Heard you on the low bands the other day, Steve, on 40 meters. Sounded good down here. WB2ZEI. Go ahead.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's nice to hear that you heard me there too. Yeah, I don't know. I've been chit-chatting with some folks, a couple of guys in Idaho and so forth, trying to work with some of those guys to get friends of mine over there up and running with their HF unit there. But I've got sort of an announcement that people might be interested in, if I can say that real quick, regarding an event for this weekend. It's regarding a POTA event that the GARS group, the Glen Amateur Radio Society, is having, and our good friend Smith is going to be there.
Yeah, go ahead. Let us know so we can pile up on them.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think it'd be fun to have a good showing. I mean, we're just kind of a small club out of Glenn County, but I think we're expecting at least a dozen. But it's going to be nice to get a few more in case anyone's interested. But and getting closer to your neck of the woods there, it's in Colusa, 11 o'clock on Saturday, April 27th. Is going to be the one of the GARS monthly POTA Parks on the Air. It's at the Colusa Sacramento River State Recreation Area, which is there where Highway 45 and 20 come together. More information will be available on the Glen Amateur Radio Society Club website, which Smitty has been very gracious with his time to help put together our website there. But 11 o'clock, if anyone was interested in having a hamburger, I think one of the guys is going to be grilling a famous smash burger, but we generally like to have an RSVP to make sure that we can have enough food and supplies there for folks. But it's been a fun event. Hang out, some camaraderie with other hands, and everyone's welcome, of course. But anyway, it's just something that we're trying to put together and have a little fun, other than field day, which always is 110 degrees, right? So anyway, I appreciate you allowing me to come on and mention that.
Yeah, sure. Very good, Steve. Sounds like, like a ham picnic, but also, I guess you'll have a POTA station on the air as well.
Yeah, we call it Plus on the Air. We're going to put at least one station, maybe two up. And I think one of the guys even wants to try some 6-meter FT8 or something, so that might be kind of interesting. But yeah, a little portable setup. And, what's cool about it is all the operators will get credit for it as long as you're signed up for Parks on the Air. Plus, our club will get credit for it too. So, one of the guys, W6LND, he's been really putting this stuff together and doing a good job at that. So, anyway, I think just overall it'd be a fun event, and I hope to see other people out there. It's always nice to meet some of those that we hear out on these repeaters that we don't get to, so that's part of it as well. So, anyways, appreciate what you do out there, Armand. I really wish I could meet you at one of these events. I just haven't made it. I just wrote down the next Carmichael Ham Fest. I'm hoping to get over that way, and maybe I'll meet you then.
Question.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Stephen, are people allowed to bring their own stations if they want for the POTA event?
Well, I mean, I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that, well, I don't know all the rules behind it, and I think Jeremy does better at that, but I mean, when we're going to transmit on our call sign, I'm imagining, I mean, what anyone can do, your own POTA event, right? I would suppose. But the problem we're going to have is having too many antennas probably close to each other in proximity, and that might be a little bit of an issue. But I mean, POTA's POTA, right? Anyone can do that. We're just having an event for our club, and it'd be fun to see others do it, and maybe we can all work it out or whatever. For different bands and things like that. I don't know that we're working on. We're supposed to have band pass filters at some point. That's gonna make things a whole lot easier. But I don't think we have them just yet.
Roger. Thank you for that. Kilo Golf 6 November Lima Whiskey. Cool.
Okay, well, Frank's a real POTA guy, so that's I'm sure that's why he was asking. But yeah, same thing with Field Day. Put up all these stations, and you gotta have either the separation or the bandpass filters to help out with all the QRM. But very good, Steve. Glad to hear that Glen Amateur Radio Society is doing that, and I hope you have a good weekend out there. Hope it doesn't sprinkle on you. And also, of course, the Sonoma Ham Fest is going on this weekend as well up in Sonoma at 252 West Spain Street. They're going to have a breakfast and a swap and CE things going on. So that's another thing to put on your ham calendar, along with the ham burgers, with pancakes, eggs, and sausage at Sonoma, but no ham. But the hams are two-legged. So, alrighty, Steve, very good. Thanks for that. And say hello to Terry next time you talk to her. KN6, I forgot her call. Shame on me. But anyway, I remember Terry, and I know she was retiring. But say hello to her from all of us at the NorCap Southern Cup. Hang on.
And Armand, you busted me. I was asking exactly because I'm a big POTA guy.
You're just a POTA, that's all.
Yeah, I'm a something, that's for sure. No, POTA's better.
Yeah, POTA is better. Or is that POTA? Potty's on the air. POTA Potty's on the air. Oh my goodness, let's not go down that drain. All right, before we go any further ado, Gary, how are you? WA Success GI, WB2ZEI. That's Gary.
Oh, man.
Good evening, Armand. WB2ZEI, WA Success GI. I'm doing pretty good. All said and done. Just kind of a bummer about MFJ going under. Everybody bitched about him and complained about him. And I often made the comment when everybody was too carping about MFJ and Mighty Fine Junk. I said, no one else is making stuff that he's making for a very narrow community of people, and is priced reasonably where it can be sold and make $1 on the deal. Anyway, that said and done, that got me to thinking about there's a guy who's known on the web and on the YouTube as the amp guy. Harbach Electronics is, he picked it up. He runs Harbach. He's giving up through the health reasons. So the amp guy is going to be the guy to go for it. If you get any old tape kit gear, you need pieces, parts, what have you. He has tubes of all kinds. He has the pencil line of tubes. And also, quite some time ago, he took on Peter Dahl's Transformers. If you're a solid state guy, a big lunk of copper and compressed iron may not mean much help to you, but Peter Dahl he specified in transformers, and they were very efficient. They ran cool. They were sized for the job, and he handles those too. He picked up Peter Dahl when Peter went silent K on us. So if you need any tube type high power stuff, look for the amp guide on the web. I don't know what his URL is, but he handles Armand and Peter Dahl, and he has a lot of stuff that no other place you can get it, and his price has always been respectable. And he does mods for get stuff too to keep those old green boxes running. That's all I got here. I'm glad I listened closely to about Peter, about Martin Jew going final on us. When I think he started off with Curtis Chip making keyers and small 100-watt tuners, and he branched out. He made a lot of money. I've got an Emerich-on AL82 with a pair of 3500Zs that makes legal limit plus, and they've done it since I bought a new one. They put it all together. It came in 3 boxes. You had a box for the chassis and the cabinet. You had the transport came in a box, and of course the tubes came in their own separate box. And lit it up, 3,000 volts on the plate, tuned it, and my plot here shows it makes about 1,590 watts output on any band you want to be on. And generally, most amplifiers, they go a little soft on 10 meters or 6 meters. But anyway, that's just a general knowledge piece of information. And I thought I'd talk that little snippet out there. WB2ZEI, W86FGI. Good to hear the net and you. Back to you, Armand.
All righty, Gary, very good. Yes, the landscape is always in flux, isn't it? Companies, but yeah, you know, Martin too, he bought up a lot of companies. When High Gain went out, he bought them, and you know, there's a lot of High Gain antennas out there. You know, the old veterans, High Gain TH3 and the TH6, TXX, and Thunderbird, and all those antennas. But you know, I guess you know, companies come and go. Some of the veterans are still out there. Mosley is still out there. They're still hanging in there. So landscape is always changing. So what can one say? But I'm glad they were out there, and I agree with you. They made a lot of specialty stuff that nobody else was making, and you know, they were kind of I don't know why people always laugh at them, but you know, he who laughs first laughs last. Now we've lost a number of different product lines. So let's see what's going to come in to fill the vacuum. And good to hear about the amp guy, you know, Harbach and Peter Dahl, very well-known names in the electronics field. Everybody always talks about that stuff too. So good for you on that one. Thanks, Gary. Let's see who else is out there. So we're full of news tonight. No listings, but the news is breaking. Anybody else for the net tonight? WB2ZEI.
Comment.
Yeah. So Al, you know, maybe you should buy up MFJ. You know, that'd be a good pastime for you. Yeah, I don't think I can afford that. I want to afford a Meritron. I don't think I can afford. I did research into this while everybody was talking about it. It seems that he put the company up for sale in November, last November, 2023. But the way he's done it is he wanted to sell the whole company as one unit. and not too parted out. Pushcraft, Abbott Maritron, and so on and so forth, which I think was a mistake. But and my guess is that push comes to shove, I'll bet you that he'll end up doing that. So I don't think Maritron. I think Maritron will be taken over by some Chinese company and so on, Pushcraft, and yada yada yada. So I don't know what the sales are for these things, but apparently, and I also read that the price you wanted for the company. I didn't find out what it is, but people say it was crazy. I'm reading Reddit, a long thread on this whole thing. So, and the letter that Martin Pugh wrote is up on the internet. Something is not a fraud, fake. But at any rate, but what's really interesting is that this is not only going to hurt us, but this is really going to hurt QST magazine because a lot of people said that QST was basically a couple of articles and 11 pages of MSJ. So since QST went digital, I don't know if they were able to keep their advertising numbers the same, because advertising is sold based upon eyeballs. So, and I don't know, I don't know how people are reading the digital thing versus getting the magazine, whatever. But interesting news. But we're in a hobby that you go to any ham swap and you'll see every other company in the world that's gone out of business. I mean, Swan, Novellus, National, these kids. I mean, SwapNet littered with companies that have come and gone. And so, but I think some of these companies will I think, a couple of antenna companies, and will get taken over by somebody. So we'll see. Anyway, no other news. No other news here. N6ICW. Yeah, that is true. These kids won World Radio Lab. A lot of even the ham magazines have come and gone. Ham Radio Reports. CQ died, I think. Well, I don't know if Rich Moseson is still running it. Maybe they're still there, but there was a 73 magazine. Yep, a lot of them have come and gone, but I guess we're still here. And I've been catching up on my QST as well. But, there are new companies coming in and changing the landscape of what's going on. A lot of single entrepreneurs who are designing and parting out, or not large scale, but like you said, exporting to China to have things manufactured, or putting things together themselves on a small scale. But I don't know how much he wanted for the company. Like you said, I'm not a financial analyst, but it'll still be missed. But even look at somebody like a company like HRO. They're still going, and they swallowed up Amateur Electronics Supply. But there's still Gigaparts and R&L and some of the others. I don't even know if all the companies that were around in the 80s and 90s are still out there. But hobby moves on. Thanks, Al, for your observations. And yep, nothing stays the same. Look at Ella Craft. They grew up and they're doing good things. So, and Flex Radio, they're new. Step IR, lots of new companies too, and the older ones as well. So we're blessed with a lot of talent. Thanks, Al. KG6AAI, WP2ZEI, with NorCal Swap. Anybody else?
Yeah, man.
Okay, the two trading men, Frank first, and then up to the engineer, Frank. Go ahead.
Just real quick, you were talking about porta potties on the air earlier. You got to send your royalties for that. Now I have to as well, since I mentioned it. You got to send them to Steve Goodgame, K5ATA at the Teachers Institute. He came up with that one.
Oh yeah, I just remember his call from reading the latest QST code. All right, Well,
Mhm.
anything on the air, what have volunteers on the air as well, Voda, who do the old, what do they used to call the old ARRL monitoring program? Well, looks like volunteers on the air is taking that over. I can't remember the name now. A lot of things I can't remember. But I can remember phone numbers from when I was a child, but I can't remember something I should. Anyway, all righty. Well, we'll give him an attaboy.
Of official observers, I think is what you're thinking of, and Voda was only good for 2023.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's it, Frank.
All right, over to the other side of the cab to Gary. I'm sure he has a good comment.
I step on you, or you something. I said, young minds do prevail. You're right. And no, Voda was only for 2023.
Yeah, it was. I said, all right, over to the other side of the cab to Gary. I'm sure he has a great comment too. Hi, Mitch.
All right, thanks, Frank. Somebody else said, yeah, good to hear you. Got asked about Redboard too. When you said that, I couldn't. First, I thought, well, we used to get Redboards. That's because we had orders to pick up, and we called from the head end of the caboose. Until we got Redboard orders are hanging out. But that's the only time I ever heard it used. I know some railroads get rid of the stop signal as a Redboard. But anyway, that's railroading. Heard in the wind that Telegraph is no longer manufacturing the K3S line. They're sticking with the K4 and amplifiers. And I've got absolutely outstanding service after the sale, and they have a lot of parts. If you got an aircraft and you got problems, they can fix them. They are not cheap.
Sorry about
But
that.
the guy who works on it, he knows it inside and out. It's not just a beginner's job. Especially the old K3s, where everything was done with filters. I told the gentleman the K3, he told me he powered it up. He says he hooked it to an antenna, and he says it comes through just like AM. I said, yeah. I said, sideband done right. But I says, what have I got to do? And I says, operate the radio, leave the filter stacks alone. Anyway, little out Telegraph there, Ed. But no, they're changing. Everything is changing in part. You got an icon, for example. Look on the webpage, and they have a list of radios they'll work on and repair, because that's the stuff. If your radio is not listed, they'll work on it. If you have a radio that's listed there, there's a lot of parts they can't get out of Japan anymore. But generally, they're a lot tighter. They're a lot better than Yates. If you call for tech support on ICOM, the guy who answers the phone, he knows tech support. He's not just another person saying hello to you. Get a big at that Johnson carpeting. I'm not trying to, but we are a small group of people, and everybody. A suggestion for 7,300 owners: get the MFJ rate amp interplace while you can. If you're switching the amps with the relays in the 7,300, and it's a tube type amp, you will smoke that relay. You'll take a trip to Washington State to repair it. So if you use the amp interface, it takes the load off the radio. That's it there. WA6SGI.
Oh, okay. Don't know where that came from. All righty. Very good, Gary. Thanks for your observations. And, well, KS3's been around a while. And knock on something or other, but my TV's been running without a problem. I've had it now for 12 years, and it's doing okay. Still don't know 95% of the radio, but a long time just learning the ins and outs. Not like the old days. But you're right. Things come and go. Yeah, well, but the SwapNet's been here for, golly, I don't know, 30, 35, 30 years or more. So we're not going out of business, maybe because we don't get paid. So I don't know. But at least we're still around. And it's interesting. I've talked to hams who say, yeah, I used to listen to the SwapNet when I was 15 years old, and 25 years later, so that's really amazing. Thank you, Gary. WA6FGI, WB2ZEI. It's 50 plus past the hour. Anybody else for the net tonight?
This might be a no listing night tonight.
Yeah, wow. Speaking about 30 years ago, hello, Mark. And happy the kitties. WA6YNI. How are you?
I'm doing good, Armand. My kitties are getting cute. Yeah, W6YNI. Did I miss the swap or is it this weekend?
Well, it's every Thursday, Mark. But Sonoma is this weekend. And, of course, Sonoma, 252 West Main Street. Vomark, VOMARC.org. But the Carmichael swap, which is more local to you being in Roosevelt, is coming up on the 26th of May, as usual, weekend of Memorial Day. Let's not rush the summer, but Memorial Day weekend on that Sunday. So I'm not sure which swap you were talking about, but Sonoma's this weekend, and Carmichael's the 26th. And let's see, there's one in Reno on the 11th. And of course, if you want to get in your little airplane, fly to Xenia, Ohio, that's coming up on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So there you go.
Yeah, I thought it was this 27th, the 26th. This is like tomorrow or Friday, Saturday. That's always just double checking. Sometimes I just get so busy and know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure you're still working hard, still working for the school district.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, no, so by 4 years, I get to retire.
Yeah, maybe you can pet the kitties and play with the radios all day long. Help the families doing good, and the kitties as well. And good to hear you. I haven't heard you in a while, so I'm glad you're out there. Yes, Carmichael is the 26th. It's always in May. Remember that. It's Carmichael May, or May Carmichael, whichever way you want to call it. But Carmichael is, as long as John's doing it, it's in May.
Copy that. Well, thank you very much, Armand. I just want to double check. W6Y, I just want to double check on that. So you have a good evening. It's good talking to you. And I try to listen to you guys just about every week. I just don't throw my 2 cents in. So you have a good evening, Armand. W6Y.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Yeah, you're right. Some people listen, and there's a few of us that talk, but I'm one of the listeners as well to certain things. Thanks, Mark. Take care, and best to the family as well. Good to hear you on WA6YNI, WB2ZEI with the NorCal Swap. Anybody else? All right. Well, sounds like everybody's gotten off the train, or everybody's fallen asleep on the train here. So maybe we got to pull into the depot and tell everybody, like they used to say. What they used to say on the subway? everybody off last stop, and don't go to sleep on the train. Otherwise, you might wind up someplace where you don't want to be, way back in the yards, with no heat or ventilation. Heard about stories like that in the New York subway system as well. But anyway, Frank, any comments from R&D or our Cyberland section?
Oh, I'm gonna butcher the name, but Paskipi, last stop, Paskipi. Yes, no, Toronto's more like the last stop on that train. Yeah, I know I butchered the name. You don't have to tell me. I know I butchered it. I'm gonna get yelled at in the chat. I already know that too. No, just a bunch of hellos and good evenings and highs from everybody. Absolutely loving the content of the net and the live stream. Just nothing to buy, sell, or trade tonight. With that, yeah, I think we're arriving into the Toronto Depot now, and we'll put the train away for the night.
Yeah, or you're trying to say Piscataway? That's in New Jersey. Piscataway. Yeah, just get away. Anyway, all right, very good. Yep, I can see the lights of the depot coming up fast here. So yes, we talked about boat anchors. What we need is some boats for the boat anchors. All the fishing boats and the rest, all the 90-foot yachts. Who could use all the boat anchors? Anyway, all right, let's take one last shot at it, and then we'll disconnect the transformer and put everything back in the box. Put all the cars away in their little boxes, and we'll take them out again next week. Anybody else for the net before we go?
Romeo Oscar.
Okay, he jumped on board. How you doing, Rick? KM6ZRO, good.
Real good, Armand. I was able to finally make contact with Al's friend about that the listing that you had. Let me think now. It must have been I think it was the weekend of Easter. So that's what, 4 weekends ago. Anyway, I finally made contact with the fellows on. Well, I hadn't been able to get through, but something may happen here when he gets back, and we'll talk about that linear amplifier he got at the antique EP1.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you got a hold of Jim, and perseverance is always the name of the game. I remember guys either looking for stuff or trying to sell stuff for 6 months, a year at a time, and eventually it does work. So I'm glad you persevered, and when Jim gets back, I hope you guys can connect.
Yeah, well, we exchanged emails, I think today or yesterday, I don't remember now, but anyway, we did exchange emails, so we've got something set up as expected.
All right, very good. Good to hear it, Rick, and keep up the perseverance, and pays off in the end. Thank you. Anything else going on up in Rockland?
Oh, no, everything's quiet. It's just dark and cool out tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of raindrops. I went out to take the garbage out, and lo and behold, the little droplets were falling down from the sky. So I was surprised about that. All righty, Rick, very good. Thank you. And have a good rest of the evening. And we'll take one more standby to see if anybody else is out there. If not, we'll close the net. It's about 0401. There's the carrier. So let's find out whose finger behind the carrier. Copy me, Armand, N6ICW. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Don't wake up anybody. Yep, I hear you. Well, I have some, with a heavy heart, I have to announce off that we we have a brand new silent key. Oh no! I hope it's not who I'm thinking of. Yikes! Who's the silent key, Danny? That would be Dennis. W7DEN or W6DEN up in Auburn. Oh, jeepers creepers! That is. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought he was coming along. My gosh, that's horrible, horrible. How's Holly doing? Well, she's actually hanging in there pretty good. They took him off life support earlier this evening, and he passed at 7 o'clock. Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's awful. Why did they? Well, let me do this, Danny, if you want. Let me close the net, and unless there are folks out there who do Dennis that might be wanting to know what's going on. Any consensus, guys? Otherwise, I can take this over to 475, or I can call you on the phone, Dan. Either way, that's awful. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know before you got off the air that had happened. So if you want to call me or want to get full, like 475 either way.
Dennis was a very cool guy.
Yeah, well, I knew Dennis for years and years, and I won't forget him because he volunteered to walk around with at Loomis with me, and so we did. We actually did make the physical connection, and I had a great time, and that's so horrible.
Good day, Colin. You just missed it. W6DEN is silent
Let me
key.
close the net. Maybe I'll give you a call on the phone, and I want to tell Margaret too later. I know she'll be wanting to know that. That's really sad, very sad news. I'm sure our folks up on 475 are completely devastated. I join them as well. What can I say? Alrighty, thank you, Dan. So we close on a very sad note, but I don't know what can you say. But I hope he's in a better place and can move around without any pain or any suffering now. Thank you, Dan. N6TNI, WPTZI with the NorCal swap. On that note, anybody else for the net? Otherwise, we'll close it up.
I'll do two things and then let's close it up. Dennis was a fantastic guy. He's going to be very well missed by everyone. And Dan, please send my regards over to Holly and the family. Kilo Golf 6, November Lima Whiskey. And Armand, the city I'm thinking of, I'll spell it just normally, not phonetically. POUGHKEEPSIE. It's the county seat of Dutchess.
Oh yeah,
Poughkeepsie. Yeah, Poughkeepsie. That's as I said. I was gonna totally butcher it. Butcher it. I think it's time for me to hang the microphone up. Armand, back to you for the ribbons and bows on this.
Yeah, part of Metro North, right? Okay. Yep. Alrighty, Frank. We close the net with a heavy heart and pray for Dennis as well. Yeah, that's what could one say? There's no words. So with that, we'll close the net. WPT City, closing the net. Hopefully, we'll see some of you next week, and everybody have a good week as best you can. And we'll see everybody on the 2nd of May. So WP230I, clear and closing the NorCal swap at 0406 UTC. everybody next week, guys. WB2ZEI. Good night.
Good night from social media YouTube land. Kilo Golf 6 November Lima Whiskey QRT. Get that volume turned down because I'm doing things a little differently tonight. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody that dropped in tonight and said hello and was active in the chat. As you heard there at the end, Dennis Whiskey 6 Delta Echo November is now a silent key. He was a great guy and awesome friend, and if you had a question, he knew where to find the answer if he didn't have it. Until next time, I want you to POTA hard, soda hard, and ham even harder. Until next time, 73.